So, welcome to this client interview. I'm here with one of my older clients called Lee. Tell the people something more about yourself.
Hi, I'm Lee, a poet, writer, Instagram fanatic, and content creator. And that is just what I do on a daily basis. Just running my brand. And Alex here, we met over, has it been a year now? I'm not quite sure now.
Yeah, I think about a year.
That I've known a year or two. Yeah, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and we think on quite a ride from the beginning where I had nothing um, when it comes to the knowledge of creating content that is plausible to my audience. And yeah, so that's how I know you.
All right. All right. Well, could you tell the people like more about your journey, how you started off, why you wanted to get into poetry, just in general, like maybe how you found me and stuff like that?
Well, I saw one of the famous poets before, on Instagram. You know how everybody was on Instagram, like during the Instagram years, like when it was still out. She is also a poet and a performer, and on social media that are pursuing their talent and sharing it with the rest of the world on social media and realizing that that is possible
Okay.
made me want to have my own page and share what I know and what I want the world to know about poetry with regards to South Africa and what is, in a sense, proper South African poetry, because there's a lot of misconception
Mm.
with what we bring to the table. So I thought, you know what, I'm capable of doing this as well, so why not? And I will admit that I had no idea what to begin with, because it was just one thing after another, seeing other pages and trying to basically what they have, but also be authentic.
Yeah.
And I sort of struggled to find my ground. And then I came across your page. I think it was a sponsored ad. And I was like, wait, this might just be what I'm looking for. And I just had a few clicks here and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
So I just looked at your page and I was like, maybe I do need a bit of guidance. Maybe I do need someone that's just going to be like at the back of my ear
Yeah.
telling me um, what I should and should not do, like say constructive criticism.
Mm.
So I wanted that, and it seemed if that is what you had to offer for me, and why would I just pass that opportunity? And I looked through other clients of yours that had testimonies on your page that they had a great experience. And I thought, okay, let me give it a try. And to be honest, no joke, I have seen an immense amount of progress. I think from that time, I saw a clear direction on what I wanted to do and what niche or what my niche actually requires. So yeah.
Mm. Okay, well, that's lovely to hear. And in the first place, you kind of summarized that you deciding to work with me was also dependent on what you saw in my highlights before with other clients, what they were able to achieve, etc. But did were there like any other factors that made you decide to work with me?
Definitely your work ethic, because besides you always push asking me questions like when do you want to do this, and I think it was the resistance, you know, behind the idea of I want to help you, I want to get you that 1K. I think when we started talking I was at 1 point something K,
Yeah.
and I think it was you who made me want to set goals for myself, who made me, realize that the numbers are important. It isn't just that amount of followers. It is people are interested in what you're doing, people that are invested in what you're doing. And I saw also your consistency on your page and how you were posting. And that sort of encouraged me, and made me realize that Instagram and just social media in general isn't just a tool or an app on your phone. It's actually something you can use to let the world know that you're out there.
Okay.
Yes.
And with your current goals, like, are there any new goals you set? Because obviously, when we started out working together, I guess you had like around a 1K followers. Right now, I think you have 10, 11, 12K or something. Like, what's your next goal?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I need to get to like 50K or something in due time. But it's just been more consistent posting and posting content that is relevant to me and following what other people are saying is relevant, so authentic and move with time and not the time. Get what I mean? Figuring out and process. I do want to have a huge following. I think that's what everybody wants on Instagram eventually. Following my craft and people that appreciate my craft. I think that is my biggest goal in having to circulate my craft in such a way that people actually want to be following me and every post every now and again.
Hmm. Okay. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if the connection was too good. There were a few parts that kind of I didn't completely get, but it's completely fine. But
Oh,
let's.
wait. Sorry, just for control, I do have load shedding on the side. I don't know if that's with computer power. I'm running on my own power.
I see.
So yeah.
No worries, no worries. Do you feel like, let's say you could go back to the point of you deciding to work with me in the first place, you would have made a different decision, not knowing the outcome?
Um, Not knowing outcome, could you just like rephrase the question to me?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
If you could just rephrase the question.
So if you feel like if you go back to the point where you decided to work with me in the first place, would you have made a different decision back then if you could go back without knowing where you are right now or where you were able
No, I would have worked with you 100%. Um, now more than ever, I'm a at the time. I was so blind towards a lot of things when it came to the content world. I was just so oblivious to the fact that certain aspects that actually do matter, like the color palette of your Instagram feed,
to?
um, when you post, how much you post, and what things to post and not to post. So I wouldn't have been aware of those things had I not started working with you. So definitely not regretful of that.
Awesome. Well, it's lovely to hear, like the thing is that education has its ups and
Oh
downs
my God.
as
Are you
well. Sorry?
you glitched?
I'm not sure if it's the connection, but I didn't get you.
I said you glitched there for a second. I couldn't.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I was just thanking you with what you just said, and obviously also with telling a bit more about like the whole education space, that it's sometimes it's just a bit hard to translate to other people like what you're able to do, etc. And you're just one of the best examples of people who just put in the work ethic or have the work ethic, but just need someone to push them forward a little bit with the right strategies to implement on a daily basis. So yeah, in that way, you are the perfect example. Cool. So basically, I think there was a little bit of a connection issue, but what I was telling you was that I was thanking you for obviously your response. But besides that, that you are a very good example of someone who just needed a little push, that does have the work ethic and just need a little push with actually implementing the right things. Because I feel like that a lot of people are just discouraged with small things just not going their way, especially on social media, since a lot is like vague to a lot of people. So they don't
Yeah.
understand why this works or why that doesn't, etc. And I feel like with you, it was just that little push that you needed, and obviously you see in the results you got that that was all it needed. So in like the beginning when we started out working together, like what were your expectations at first, like from me or the program or stuff like that?
Um,
So what were your kind of expectations at the start of working together, like with the program, etc.?
I sort of, I think when you do go on your page, there is this booking system that you have, love it.
Mm,
And had a set of questions that sort of directed my understanding of what you do. So I think what questions were, what is your expectation, or what is your what outcome do you want, out of this whole meeting? And
mm,
I think it was about 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
mm.
And out of that, I thought maybe I'll get someone to tell me how terrible I am at this Instagram thing, how I should just leave it and carry on with my other life. But what you did was basically guide me and take that Instagram page that I have and not change it, but make it sort of Insta worthy, if that's
Mm.
a correct term to use, because I feel like most of the time people get lost with what they want and what the web wants, what the social media world wants.
Yeah.
And I sort of felt like bridge the gap between those two, to help me basically understand that it is not just my content and what I want and what I feel is better, but rather considering the people that are following me and considering content that is eye catching and um, basically things that will keep people engaged and not just, oh, okay, I like that post, let me like it, or let me
Yeah.
comment, or any of the sort of things, but to keep people engaged. I think um, that's what I didn't expect, but that's what I got at the end of it.
All right. And just to kind of discuss more of like a bit of fear that a lot of people do have when starting out, especially in online business or stuff like that. Because I mean, there's so many misconceptions about online businesses online with having to do
Mm-hmm.
this. One has a big startup cost, one sells crypto, one does this, one does that, right? So what was kind of your
Mm-hmm.
fear at the start of this all, like that it wouldn't work out, or just tell me a little bit more about that.
I think what did make me a bit skeptical. I just thought, oh my goodness, this person is in a whole different country than I am,
Yeah.
and um, how are you even going to make this work? I think was my biggest concern.
Mm,
Um, are you going to relate to my content? Um, since I saw your content and I thought this is all about
mm,
pushing pages and um, a business mindset.
yeah.
And then I thought, how is that now to what I'm doing? And how are you going to incorporate whatever you say into what I do? you know? So I think it was one of the things that I was really concerned about. But to my surprise, you analyzed the page, I think, with me at the time, and I'm like, wait a minute, you do have a good point, whatever you were saying at the time. And I thought, okay, it isn't really what I thought it was going to be. And how we arrange times according to your time zone at the time, I thought, how is it that gonna work out? But in the end, I think things ended up working out quite well.
Okay, and what would you kind of give as advice to other people who may have similar fears as you?
Just do it. Like, as long as it doesn't involve taking huge sums and amounts of money for accounts, like gigantic sums, $10. I mean, up until I would fee with like $500. Then start here. Anything below that, I feel it's worth risk. Sometimes it is worth whatever you're being asked for, you know? Just look at the page, look at the person, look at what they've done. Reviews are what count the most. I think that's one thing that gave me a nudge with your page, because I got to see other people talk about their experience and thought, okay, wait, this is now legit. It's not just some other scammer trying to get their hands in my pocket, you know? So with you, it's quite different, because there were fees from other people from other different countries, not just from where you're from, you know? So I think do your research, do your background research, and then with that, you'll definitely be able to gauge whether this is legit or not. And yeah.
Okay, and how did you kind of do your research into me?
I stalked your Instagram page.
Okay.
I stalked your page. I literally went up until the last post, and I tried to look into. I looked at the comments. I literally looked at everything that is out there to get, and I didn't find anything that was fishy. So yeah.
All right, well, perfect. You know, that's the end goal. Just share as much as I can about myself, what I do, etc. But it's great that you did do your research, right? Like, a lot of people do jump into certain things like coaching or this or that. Meanwhile, you just need to kind of do a background check before, and then you'll see, okay, it's legit. That person has results, knows what he's speaking about, and then, yeah, you feel more comfortable with actually going into it instead of just being like, oh yeah, well, fuck it, you know. Excuse my language, but and what did you want in the first place? Like, when starting out with me, what was your like main goal you'd want? Was it more followers, income, like page optimization, name it?
Definitely more followers, because when you are starting out, I think that is the goal, getting more people to know you're out there.
Yeah.
So for me, it was more followers, and actually posting things that are relevant in the sense that people can engage, and people can maybe, even if I do promote a post and I don't get the engagement I want, I still can now identify the issues from what we've spoken about, that, oh, okay, maybe this could be the issue, or maybe I should change up on this or that, you know? So I think that was definitely what I had in mind.
Okay, well, it's an interesting topic you named there with like page analysis, right? Just want to tell people a little bit more about that, what we actually did with you as well. For example, you start out posting certain things, right? Where like in the starting phases of your page, you're just testing out what's working for you, and then from there double down on what's working. That's basically the proven formula. But from there, you always need to analyze, need to analyze the posts, what's working, what's not, and just really dive deep into your actual page and your audience, etc., that you're creating, because each page has a different audience, right? So my page maybe has a completely different audience from your page. So with that, they like different styles of content or other special like specific content, sorry, about some certain topics or stuff like that. So yeah, I do feel like that was game changing with you, was just like diving deep and just staying on top of what's working, what's not, what are the results we've seen before, what are the results we want to go for, and yeah, just stick to it basically.
Yes. I
And
think you do got a point there, because I think for the longest time,
mm,
I've realized that, because I did start a bit of other accounts after that, just to see what it is that I might have done wrong in the past. And
mm,
what I've seen with a lot of social media accounts is that in the beginning, it's all the way up. You get your followers, you get engagement, and then there's just this point where it just doesn't go any further
yeah,
in
yeah,
terms of following, in terms of engagement. It just gets stuck. And I feel like a lot of people almost question whether what they are doing is proper or
yeah.
relevant, or is it enough. And it's just the realization that there's only a couple of tweaks here and there that you have get done on, and then from there, I think with a couple of your tips, um, you can get people to actually have that, I don't know, that
Yeah,
appeal,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that engagement back again. Yes.
All right. And what's kind of your future goals? Like, do you want to expand to 50K followers, start a new account, or what's your end goal with it?
Well, now that I have a book out,
Mm,
it's a lot more complicated than that. It's more um follower based. Like it's as much as I said in the beginning, I don't want to really focus on the numbers that much. I want to focus on what I'm putting out there, and
yeah.
whether what I'm putting out there is engaging enough. But at the same time, as an author, you do need people to know you're out there in order for them to purchase your book, and know of your work, my writing, and all of that. So for me, I'm also going into the industry as well. I think it's just a huge change that's about to happen. So I do need that followers. I do need those followers, and I do need that engagement. Yet again, with a couple of changes here and there, I think
Okay. Not sure if the connection is too well, but can you hear me still?
I can hear you quite well.
Right, perfect. No, but yeah, quick question to you is that did you like ever imagine of going when you started out to now being an author, actually having released your book, hitting tens of thousands of followers, etc.?
Absolutely not. I
Okay.
thought I was gonna be at like 500K followers, like not 500, 5,000. I thought I was gonna be that I thought I was gonna be that person. Really, no jokes. I thought I was gonna be that person that has like what 30 views on their story. Um, I really thought I was just not it. But then I think after we spoke, that's when I started seeing change, because
Mm,
I post poetry, it's all words, and not a lot of people are keen on reading nowadays, especially where I'm from. It's not a prominent thing to just read. I mean, it's just the way it is. And I feel like with Instagram now evolving into video content, it's a lot more hard to people to read a post because it's just words. So with you just telling me that what maybe you would post shorter poetry, maybe people that might like it um, could fall into the trap of, oh, okay, you know what, let me follow this person. And then they would then engage
yeah.
into reading a lot of poetry and actually then further on going to the books. So, yes, definitely. I think it really did helped me in that way. I sort of evolved from what I was doing. And yeah, definitely, you're right in there.
Okay, cool. And what do you think helped you the most with increasing your followers and, for example, engagement?
I think consistency. I think everybody can attest to that. Consistency and making sure that whatever you post is of good quality. And it's not really about quality, I mean, quantity. It is
Mhm.
about the quality of the post. It has to be nice and clean, something that is not disturbing to the eye, something that is not like all over the place, just clean content that is presentable
Yeah.
to everybody else's eye, because we live in such a busy world, and when you get to the small eyes and then you see all of these colors and all of that, it just gets too much. So I think with that, it's definitely something to consider, and it is something that I think helped me get a better following in a sense.
All right. Cool. Then yeah, we're kind of gonna be wrapping up this interview. What are like
Mm.
a few takeaways or things you would recommend to other people?
Whew. Uh, um, Even though I feel like I'm a position of recommendation at this point, but I think I'll just revert back to what I said. Um, do your background research. Know who you are dealing with. If it's going to be you, which I hope it is, um, just listen, and don't take any of advice for granted. And it is definitely constructive criticism. It is a shift from what you thought you knew to what is actually on the platform, which
Mm,
is now like 2023. It's different. I think we had our meeting about a year ago, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
So content, in a sense, has changed immensely from time. So
Yeah.
it is definitely just listen, and don't take it personally. Just um, use the information that you've been given and put it into use, and be constant, be persistent, and you'll just see. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Thank you for actually finding the time to hop on the interview and also share like your experience with other people. You know, like it's obviously hard to show exactly what we do and what we're able to help people with. So this helps massively. And also for anyone else who's listening to this interview and is looking to start, like Lee is a perfect example of like just joining and putting in the work, putting everything to use that we show her. And as you can see, it was an amazing result. You know, maybe the results for Lee can differ for results for you. So in that way, it really depends. But yeah, again, thanks for hopping on the interview with me.
Welcome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.